Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to keep a steady, centered head during the golf swing. All right guys, so before we dig into the content, I want to let you know that this video is a member video of the week from our site, cogornogolf.com. Basically what you're going to get here is a preview of the full version that is on the site. It will be up and available for 7 days. What we're going to do, I just did 6 at 7 days. What we're going to do is we're going to put a link in the description. This will be up for 1 week, and then it's going to go away. It'll be available for members only, and then the following week we'll put up a new video. Cogornogolf.com. Again, the link is in the description if you guys want to check it out. I want you guys to be there. I want to give you tailored feedback from me for you guys. You get that all there. I can't do that all here. I hope that makes sense. If you guys do have any questions, leave a comment down below. All right, guys, so let's talk about a steady, centered head in the golf swing. It's something that comes up a lot in conversation, and I want to go over what I mean when I say steady, centered head, what that should look like, things you need to avoid, and most importantly, checkpoints you need to look for when you're practicing. So when I say a steady, centered head, if you take your normal setup and I take my normal setup, when I'm watching a video of someone swing, something people have been doing for a long time, is you draw the circle around the head, right? I do that all the time when I'm doing my online swing analysis, the circle around the head. And more or less when you watch good players, the idea is you want your head to stay within the circle, right? That's super simple, not complicated. A circle around your head, when you make a backswing, you want your head to basically stay in the circle. Now there's 2 components involved if you don't stay in the circle. Either you will have gone too far to the right or too far to the left. We'll call that the lateral component here, left or right. And also there's up and down. So you could go up through the circle or you could go down. Now, if you measure really good players, it's not as though their head is just like in concrete and stays perfectly centered. There will be some movement and it will move a little bit within the circle, but it shouldn't move drastically, and that's the point here. When we make a backswing, in terms of the height part, up and down, most good players with their irons, we won't see a dramatic change in height, either up or down. I think the last measurements I saw on average, a PGA Tour player would lower slightly during the backswing, maybe a ½ an inch to an inch. So very, very, very small amount. So you are allowed to lower some. I would say with the irons, going up on the way back probably is not recommended. There could be some shoulder tilt issues there. For the irons, hitting it solid off the ground, up is not good. We've talked about driver in the past, where maybe a little bit of up and extension can help, but for irons, not good. So in terms of up or down, we want to stay basically where you are, or slightly down would be okay. Now, in terms of the right or left component, do I want to go off the ball or forward? I really don't want a lot of movement here, okay? So if I were to draw that circle again, when I go back, I don't want me to be too far to the right or too far to the left. Now, there's a couple components involved with if that were to happen, what to look for. Really, the biggest one is what we would call forward flexion, right? Or extension. So flexion or extension, which just means when I take my setup, if my head moves too far to the right, I, in all likelihood, stayed bent over or forward flex too much or too long. So here's me staying bent over, chest down to the ground. Obviously, you can see when I do that, my head moves to the right. Now, this is usually correlated with a really flat shoulder turn, so something like this. A lot of times when I see this, bent over too far, flat shoulder turn, that will lead to a pattern. A lot of players where they get too much hip slide, swing too far from inside out and have struggles to the right. So from this angle, that would be movement to the right here, and then some form of slide to get back to normal. That's a common pattern that I would see with that. The opposite of that during the backswing would be going too far this way. And that would really be the opposite. That would be too much extension. If I were to stand up like this, and extend chest up towards the sky like this, and I did that too much during my backswing, my head would actually go too far towards the target. A lot of times when I see that, why is that a problem? I see people get too far forward. Either they keep going too far forward, and you're gonna be the ones that are digging divots that are super, super deep during the ground, or from here, you're gonna back up and out and try and find center. Gonna be contact issues. All of this head movement stuff is based upon contact issues. Now, if I hit one, okay, do my best to hit shots earlier in the videos, but we're probably already 5 minutes deep here. If I hit one and I did my normal, you would see that that head motion doesn't move a ton in either direction, okay? From setup to the top of the backswing is what we're talking about. From setup to the top of the backswing, there's not a lot of movement. You won't see this. You won't see this. You'll see a nice combination of extension, of left side bend, and turn to get that head centered. You know, we talked about in previous videos that there's really 3 movements involved during the backswing, right? There's left side bend, there's extension, and there's turn. And the degree of which you do each one, how much you do it, when you do it is gonna affect that centerness. The main points you're looking at are you flexed or extended there going back. So that's with the irons. Now, the other thing I wanna mention with your head with the irons, then we'll dig into the practice stuff, is with all these things, I'm gonna give you feedback things here at the end of the video in terms of how to practice these, but the head here, like my goal is not necessarily like, okay, my head's here in space, it needs to face perfectly forward, and I can't move it at all. People make the mistake of not allowing their neck to turn, right, or rotate. I can still keep my head in the circle and have my head turned. You see that? It probably looks really goofy when I'm doing this compared to here, right? This is bad, like this, but this is okay, a turn back and forth. We've all seen Jack Nicklaus with that little chin thing to the right, right, that little neck tilt. So during the backswing, if you allow your neck to rotate some, that can help open up your chest and get rotation. If you're trying so hard to keep a centered head where your head faces and eyes face forward, a lot of times I see that, and that leads to a lack of overall body turn during the backswing, which you'd be better off having a little turn or a little bit of movement there anyway. So allow your head to rotate, but not move laterally back and forth. If you're too far off or too far forward, look at the flexion extension part. I'm gonna go in a minute here about a couple of different practice things. You know the checkpoint, now you need to know feedback sources in terms of how to do them. Hey guys, if you like this video, please do me a favor, click the like button down below, click the notification bell if you haven't. Also, please subscribe if you haven't. If you do want more instruction tailored for you from me, go ahead and check out cogornogolf.com. The link is in the description down below. Thank you guys.